Andres Torres. Aroldis Chapman put on a show last night, lighting up the radar gun with the fastest pitches we've seen this year. The Yankee closer threw a 105-mile-per-hour pitch last night, finished off the 2-1 Bombers win over the Orioles. 1/10 of a mile off his all-time record for fastest pitch. Another impressive show from Chapman, who also had 104 on the gun. Anthony, does a performance like that tell you the Yankees need to hold on to Chapman, buzz in the ballpark, all that sort of stuff, or that they need to maximize his trade value and trade him?
Well, Jonas, I mean, nights like last night prove again that he is the best show in pinstripes right now. I mean, you know, the only other competition he has is really Carlos Beltran. I know Harp is leaping in to say
Gregorius, oh my goodness,
but I mean, Chapman does get a little buzz going through the crowd, but you can't hold on to him just for that reason, because if they are going to go sellers, and you know where I stand on that.
Yeah, still holding off.
Yes, then he's got to go, because he's an enormous return waiting to happen if that's the way things go.
Well, it's a nice thing to think about, but you don't know how often you're going to be able to use a guy like a closer like that. It's a great formula, and they almost never lose when they get him in those situations, or that whole 3 guys in the bullpen. But it doesn't happen often enough to make it worth keeping.
No, of course not. It does worry you a little. I mean, you'd like to give Randy Levine and by extension Hal Steinbrenner the credit that they understand where this team is and ultimately will sell if that's what needs to be done. But they talk about that sizzle factor, bringing people to the ballpark. Brian Castro made comments the other day that indicate all these other concerns, like, well, my department isn't sponsorships and corporate partnerships and this and that. So if there's a guy that puts any kind of fannies in the seats, and that's Chapman, you worry that the business people in the Yankees would hold on to him, even if there's not a baseball reason to. You go full Randy Levine and start him and let him every day and let him pitch an inning. So everyone who's assured of buying a ticket, see 105 every night, folks.
That's the problem from a business point of view, though, is nobody buys tickets to see the closer because you don't know if he's going to be in the game.
That's why you start him in September every day.
You're hoping for a reliever to save the Yankee brand. I mean, that means it's not as good of a product as it has been.
No, I know.
Worldwide.
All right, but you got a bunch of relievers, and 2 of them are, well, all 3 of them are incredibly marketable. One is a free agent at the end of the year, and it's Chapman, so you think you'd want to deal him. The other guy is doesn't have the sizzle factor. He's awesome in Andrew Miller. Doesn't have the sizzle factor. Maybe you can get more because he's signed beyond the end of this year. Doesn't it make sense to keep the sizzle factor here, deal Miller as good as he's been?
Well, you're going to get more from Miller.
Yes.
You're going to get more.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can do that. But you can also trade Chapman and re-sign him after the season. He's going to be a free agent. So I just think they got to put all these names out there. I think they got an incredible opportunity because all these contenders have needs for guys like this, and they're going to be in a position where, like, the Cubs don't want them to go to the Nationals, Texas doesn't want them to go to the Indians, that type of teams that they might face in the postseason. You're going to get an overpay for these guys, considering how great they are.